I'm going to record. So guys, I'm going to record this session as well. So because a lot of you are new to this platform, so you might not know exactly what's going on and how this transcription work uh, it happens. So over here we have our platform. So it's basically a MagicData annotator platform where you're going to find your tasks. You click on Go Annotate, and now we have the task open. So basically it's transcription work, but there are some, other technical guidelines which are involved as well, not just, basic transcription. So I'm going to give you a quick overview, and after that, we're going to have, some direct training with you guys on like on a screen sharing. Okay, so I will quickly explain to you what this platform is. You can see over here is the sound wave, the audio wave, which you can navigate using this scroll, and you can also click on it
Yes.
to
Talking.
choose
I know what you're talking. You have kids,
the different points. Okay. Then you can use the tab key to
right?
pause
Your
and play.
daughters.
You don't have to click anywhere. You just use the tab key. Um, on the right side over here, you have these buttons. These are the segments. So you can navigate through these segments as well.
I want to hear a story that tell me if it's true or not involving. So I thought a mishmash. Yeah. Why? Why?
Okay. On the left side, you have the male, female, and the speaker, where you choose which speaker is in this uh, segment. Over here, you have the tags. Tags are basically used to identify if there's some kind of noise, or if there is laughter, if there is some word which is not understandable. So then we use these different tags. We're going to explain that later as well. And then this is the most important place where you do the transcription work, okay, where you type. Then you have a bunch of buttons on the top. Okay, this is just some information, annotation mode. Okay, how long the task is valid for. Like if you take this task and don't do it for 2 days and 23 hours, it's going to, reset. Then some shortcut keys. Okay, play, pause is tab, return, undo, save. Okay, hang, submit. Normally, you don't need most of these keys other than the tab button. Everything else, you should press the button here because you don't want to just click on submit, Alt S, when you can accidentally submit the task as well. Don't click on this, remove text, hang up. Don't click any of these buttons, please. Um, Save is very important. You should save frequently because sometimes due to internet connection or platform issue, you can lose, your work if you haven't saved. And then once you're done with everything, once you have checked everything, you submit. You only submit when you know for sure there is no mistake in your work. Okay. So these are the basic guidelines of the platform. Now let's go towards more technical side. Um, I'm going to open the guidelines. Okay. So now one of the most important guidelines for this project is that whenever you make a segment, you have to create a logical sentence as long as it's possible. In some places, it might not be possible, but you need to make sure that you create a logical segment. And you need to follow the punctuations, you need to follow uh, like capitalizations and all of that, but you will only write what the person is saying. You're not going to correct the grammar or anything in the sentence. Everything clear until now, guys? Any questions? Something you want to ask?
Zane, um,
Yes.
I think we have guidelines, right? do we have a copy for that?
Yes, we do have a copy of guidelines, but I'm not going to go into that. It's going to be very boring. But I'm going to share that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But the guideline file will be shared with everyone. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Right. Okay, so let's start with the first one.
I want to hear a
Guys, don't
story
be afraid
that
to
tell
ask
me if it's true or
questions,
not, involving.
If something is not clear with you, please ask questions because Zane is the best person to ask the question. Okay?
Yes, and also you can send if you're like too shy or like don't want to turn on your mic or something, you can send it in the chat as well. Okay. Again, very quiet group of 18 people, but I hope everybody is listening. It kind of feels like I'm just talking to myself or just to Ria. So let's get back. So this is the first segment. Right now, everything what you see is been done by the machine. So the machine automatically made the segments and wrote this transcription as well. So there will be a lot of mistakes. So you don't think that, oh, it's already came done, or a lot of people who have some experience doing transcription before, they sometimes consider that, oh, okay, everything is done. I can just click on submit. No, you have to go through each and every segment. So let's do a couple of segments, so you guys have a clear idea what we're trying to do over here.
I want to hear a story that tell me if it's true or not, involving. I want to hear a story that tell me if it's true or not, involving.
Okay, so you can see that this person is speaking really fast, and there's some, I can see like there's some words missing, or some, like the structure of the sentence might be different. So I'm going to reduce the speed to 0.75 and then play it again.
I want to hear a story that tell me if it's true or not, involving.
Okay, so it's actually correct. It's like everything, whatever he's saying is over here already. But what is not correct is that the sentence stopped at involving, and I can see over here that in the next segment he says you and Rihanna. So the machine automatically cut it over here because there's a big gap. So it's thinking that the segment, the first person has stopped talking, but actually it did not stop talking. So there's you and Rihanna.
You and Rihanna. You and Rihanna.
In the next
I want to
segment.
hear a story.
So this segment over here, it's not a logical sentence because it ends on involving. Involving who? Like that has to be mentioned, right? So there is a button over here, a down button. So when I click on this down button, it will merge these two segments together.
I want to hear a story that tell me if it's true or not, involving you and Rihanna. I want to hear a story that tell me if it's true or not, involving you and Rihanna. I want to hear a story that tell me if it's true or not, involving you and Rihanna. I want to hear a story that tell me if it's true or not, involving you and Rihanna. I want to hear a story.
Now, there are some punctuations which need to be added over here. Okay, and then a full stop. The first word always capitalized. Names like Rihanna should be capitalized as well. Okay. And I'm going to put it to normal speed.
Yes.
All right, so this is over here, he just said and this is the second person. So you can see machine automatically chose number 2, but you need to confirm it as well.
Yes. 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 Do you know what I'm talking? Do you know what I'm talking? Do you know what I'm talking?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Do you know what I'm talking? Do you know what I'm talking? Do you know what I'm talking?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so you can see.
Yes.
Now I wanted to see that maybe this yes can connect with the next segment, but the next segment is the first speaker again. So I cannot connect that. Two different speakers cannot be in one segment. I'm sorry, somebody saying something? Okay. So this yes is by itself yes, so I need to capitalize it and put a full stop, okay? Because after yes, it's another person talking.
Do you know what I'm
Yes.
talking? 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 Do you know what I'm
Now
talking?
this is a question, so we should put a question mark. All right.
Do you know what I'm
Yes.
talking?
But
Do you know what I'm
Yes.
talking?
now I can also hear that the other person's voice, I can hear it somewhere in this segment. So I need to add this tag or label over here, which basically means that when you have a segment where you can hear another person voice inside that segment, then you're supposed to put this plus sign. This means overlap. Okay.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Okay. So this one, correct?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
All right. So a lot of segments, they can be completely correct.
Uh, 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 well, you have kids, right? You have
Absolutely.
daughters. Well, you have kids, right? You have
Absolutely.
daughters. Well, you have uh, uh,
So there's
well, you have kids, right? You have
Absolutely.
daughters. Well, you have kids, right? You have
Absolutely.
daughters. Well, you have kids, right? You have
Absolutely.
daughters. Well, you have kids, right? You have
Absolutely.
daughters. Well, you have kids, right? You're
okay. So you can see you have kids, right? So he used this modal sound over here. So we are going to add this. Modal sounds are very important. We cannot skip them. It's skipping a modal sound is the same as skipping skipping a word. It's considered a mistake.
well, you have kids, right? You have
Absolutely.
daughters. Well, you have kids, right? You have
Absolutely.
daughters.
Okay. So over here we need to add space.
Well, you have kids, right? You have
Absolutely.
daughters.
Okay. Now we can hear that the other person's voice also comes over here, so we have to again add this overlap.
I have two little girls. 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 I have two.
Okay, I have.
I have two little girls. 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 I have two little
Now,
girls.
if
I
you
have
slow it
two
down,
I have two little girls. 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 I have two
I
little
wanted to
girls.
confirm that if he's saying too little girl or girls. So he's saying girls. When you slow it down, you need to put a full stop at the end and this tag because can hear the other person as well.
Okay, I have three daughters. So I think my kids are a little older than yours. They're at that stage where okay, I have three daughters. So I think my kids.
Okay, over here we can see that he said I've two times, right?
Okay, I have three daughters. So I think my kids are a little older. Okay, I have three daughters. So I think my kids are a little older than yours. They're at that stage. Okay, I have three daughters. So
Okay, and he's not saying I have, he's saying I've. So we're going to use this. And he said it twice, so I've.
okay, I have three daughters. So I think my kids are a little older than yours. They're at that stage where okay, I have three daughters. So I think my kids are a little older than okay, I have three daughters. So I think my kids are a little older than I think my kids are I think my kids are a little daughters. So I think my kids are a little three daughters. So I think my kids are a little three daughters. So I think my kids are a little older three daughters. So I think my kids are a little older than you three daughters. So I think my kids are a little older than you.
I don't know if you're saying my think or
I think my kids are so. I think my kids are a little so. I think my kids are a little older than yours. So three daughters. So I think my kids are a little three daughters. So I think my kids are three daughters. So I think my kids are a little older than.
So he said so not complete. This is like incomplete words or sounds sometimes people make. So my think my kids are a little older than yours.
I think my kids are a little older than yours. They're at that stage where. I think my kids are a little older than yours. They're at that stage where. Okay, I have three daughters. I think my kids are a little older than yours. They're at that stage where. Okay, I have three daughters. I think my kids are a little older than yours. They're at that stage where. Okay, I have three daughters. I think my kids are a little older than yours. They're at that stage where. Okay, I have three daughters. I think my kids are a little older than yours. They're at that stage where, okay, I have three daughters.
Okay, now he said they're at that stage where, and then there's a gap, right, in the middle. So we might have to connect the segments. 17.5, 18.4. Now, why I'm calculating this? Because there's actually another guideline which says that if there is a gap in the middle, which is longer than 0.8 seconds, then we have to split the segment. Okay, so over here, the gap, if you can see, this is at 17.5 where the audio finished, and it started again at 18.4. So it's a gap of 0.9 seconds. Okay, so we can finish this segment over here, or we can, normally just for a 0.1 difference, it doesn't matter, but nobody can call it a mistake because it's more than 0.8. Okay, so we can end this at where?
If when dropping them off at school, I could just keep the car moving. If when dropping them off at school, I could just keep the car moving. If when dropping them off at school, I could just keep the car moving. If when dropping them
Okay.
If when they would
Okay, over here the gap is 22.8, 23, so it's a very small gap, and we can see that this two sentences, they should be combined, and the maximum length of a segment should not be more than 15 seconds, right? So we can see over here, this is almost 5 seconds, 4.8, and this is 7.5. It will not be longer than 15 seconds, so we can just click directly on this button.
If when dropping them off at school, I could just keep the car moving, they would opt for that rather, or a bag over my head, anything. Just a very, it's that kind of awkward stage where they don't want to be seen with that. If when dropping them off at school, I could just keep the car moving, they would opt for that rather, or a bag over my head, anything. Opt for that rather, or a bag over my for that rather, or would opt for that rather, or a bag over my head rather, or a bag over for that rather, or a bag over my head, anything. Just a very, it's that kind of awkward stage where they don't want to be seen with that.
If when dropping them off at school, I could just keep the car moving, they would opt for that rather, or a bag over my head, anything. They would opt for that rather, or a bag.
Over here, he said rad. I think he wanted to say rather. So.
Rather, or a bag over my head, anything. Just a very, it's that kind of awkward stage where they don't want to be seen with that. If when dropping over my head, anything. Just a very, it's that kind of head, anything. Just a very, anything. Just a very, just a very, it's that kind of awkward stage where they don't want to be seen with that. If when dropping them off at school, I could just keep the car, or a bag over my head, anything. Just a very, it's that kind of awkward stage where they don't want to be seen with that. If when dropping them off at school, I could just keep the car moving, they would opt for that rather, or a bag over my head, anything. Just a very, it's that kind of awkward stage where they don't want to be seen. It's that kind of anything. Just a very, or a bag over my head, anything. Just a very, it's that kind of my head, anything. Just a very, it's that kind of head, anything. Just a very, it's that kind of awkward stage where they don't want to be seen with that. If when dropping them off at school, I could just keep the car moving, they would opt for that rather, or a bag over my head, anything. Just a very, it's that kind of awkward stage where they don't want to be seen with that. If when dropping them off at school, over my head, anything. Just a very, it's that kind of anything. Just a very, it's that kind of opt for that rather, or a bag over my head, anything. Just a very, it's that kind of that rather, or a bag over my head, anything. Just a very, it's that kind of awkward stage where they don't want to be seen with that. If when dropping them off at school, I could just keep the car moving, they would opt for that rather, or a bag.
Sometimes, the sentence is very long. It's being said very fast, so it can take a bit of time. But I'm trying to show you over here that you have to listen to it again and again. You have to make sure that you're not missing any single word and the way the sentence was spoken. All right, so you have to keep repeating, keep listening. You cannot get, lazy with it.
Over my head, anything. Just a very, it's that kind of awkward stage where they don't want to be seen with head, anything. Just a very, it's that kind of awkward, very, it's that kind of thing. Just a very, it's that kind of awkward stage. Just a very, it's that kind of awkward, that kind of awkward stage where they awkward stage where they don't want to be seen. Awkward, it's that kind of awkward stage where they don't want to be seen with that thing. Just a very, it's that kind of awkward stage where they.
No, I don't know what he said. It's a kind of. So something. He's like, I'll just add that sound over here.
It's that kind of awkward stage where they don't want to be seen with that. If when dropping them off, awkward stage where they don't want to be seen with that. If when dropping them, exactly, stage where they don't want to be seen with that. If awkward stage where they don't want to be seen with that. If when dropping them off at
the last part
where they don't want to be seen with that. Awkward stage where they don't want to be seen with that. If when want to be seen with that. If stage where they don't want to be seen with that. If when stage where they don't want to be seen with that. If when dropping them stage where they don't want to be seen with that. Awkward stage where they don't want to be seen with that. Awkward stage where they don't want to be seen with that. If awkward stage where they don't want to be seen with that.
Okay, now I don't hear dad over here. The other guy said dad. I just said the with the, and then the next person starts talking.
Exactly.
And punctuations. Full stop at the end. Okay. Now this is a sound coming from. It's not a person speaking, so that's why we're using this 0. It's not a speaker, and it will be marked as ENS. Okay. ENS is this kind of noises, or in this project. The audience clapping, laughter, or noise is also considered ENS. Okay.
So I thought the coolest moment of all time had happened recently. So I thought the coolest moment of all time had happened recently. So I thought the coolest moment of all time had happened recently. So I thought the coolest moment of all time had happened recently. So I thought the coolest moment of all time had happened recently. So I thought the coolest moment of all time had happened recently. So I thought the coolest moment of all time had happened recently. So I thought the coolest when Rihanna, Riri, when
Okay, so when is also not a complete logical sentence, but we need to see if where it finished 37.6 or 7 and 38.2. So it's less than 0.8. So that means if it's the same speaker, we can connect it.
When Rihanna, Riri, when Rihanna, Riri, when Rihanna, Riri, when
okay, now you see Rihanna and
Rihanna, Riri,
there's two spaces in the middle.
Rihanna, Riri, when
and now next part 39.4
Rihanna, Riri,
and
when
40. So it's less than 0.8, so it
Rihanna,
will also
Riri,
connect.
when Rihanna, Riri, when wow, when
Rihanna, Riri. When Rihanna, Riri. When Rihanna, Riri.
This guy has like a lot of issues the way he talks. Like it's really annoying. But
Wow, 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 wow.
see, now this part we also need to add. Okay, so now we've done almost 16 segments, guys. I think you any questions? I'm pretty sure you should have questions by now, guys. Any questions, guys? I'm gonna wait until somebody asks me a question.
What's that plus sign again?
Guys are
The plus sign. The plus sign is basically if you hear another person talking in the middle. So whenever you are making a segment, so this line from the start until the end, it's one segment. Okay. Now sometimes we need to adjust these segments as well. Okay, sometimes it might be cutting the word. Actually, this is also an important point. I didn't mention it. For example,
That I had recorded in a movie
segment came like
a few
this.
years ago, and the Academy Award-winning "Stuck on You." That I had recorded in a movie.
So see, so he said the Academy Award-winning "Stuck on You." Now the "you"
on you. That I had on you. That I stuck on you. That I stuck.
So you can see the "you" is cut off over here. So we should fix it like this. So this is one segment, and if in this segment you can hear another person talk, like
I want to hear a story. Do you know what I'm talking? Do you know what I'm talking? Do you know what I'm talking? Do you know what I'm talking?
So he's saying, "You know what I'm talking?" No, he's saying, "Do you know what I'm talking?"
Do you know what I'm talking?
Yeah, he's saying, "Do you?" See, so first time I didn't hear it clearly, but now I'm listening it to again. So that's why whenever you finish your task, you always go through all the segments one more time, and you will always find some mistakes.
Do you know what I'm talking?
See, he said it very fast, but he did say, "Do you know what I'm talking?" And guys, when I'm doing this task, if you find any one of my mistakes, feel free to point that out as well.
Do you know what I'm talking?
So now you heard the other person say yes, but not very clearly, but he is saying something in the middle, right? So that's why we add this plus sign. We added it over here as well.
Well, you have kids, right? Your daughters. Well, you have.
So he said absolutely or something in the middle of the second person. So that's why we add the plus sign.
Two little girls. 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 Two little.
So he's saying two little girls. He's actually saying two little girl. So sorry.
I think he said I have two little girls.
So you think he said girls, right? Not girl.
Yes.
Two little girls. Two little girls.
I can only hear until girl. Now there might be an S.
Okay, I have
two little girls. Two little girls. Two little girls.
Daughters. Well, you have daughters. Well, you have daughters.
Two little girls.
Okay, I have three daughters, right? You have daughters.
Two little girls.
Okay.
Okay. I hear girl.
Yeah,
but
just
again,
girl. But he said I have two little girl.
oh, he said I've.
Well, you have kids. Well, you have
two little girls. 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 Two little girls.
You're right. He said I've, right?
Yes.
I've two little girl. Okay. Yeah. So, and you know what? The biggest mistake which I've made until now is not save. Always after doing 5 to 10 segments, save your work. Otherwise, you know what happens? You do like 50 segments, you spend a lot of time, and then you click on save, By that time, maybe your internet disconnected, reconnected, something happened to the platform, something wrong with the Google Chrome. Everything what can go in the universe wrong will go wrong at that time, and you'll click on save and it will say network error, this error, that error. So always save after 5 to 10 segments, because that is something you can repeat again. But if you like did 70 segments and it failed, then you have to do it again, but you won't be happy. So saving is very important. Now let's go back and let me show you a task which is already done by someone. There's some teams which are getting training already. So for example, I do have a task in ongoing. Yeah, check this one. So right now I'm in the QA mode. So I'm gonna check someone's task which is already done.
My next guest tonight is the best-selling author of The Zombie Survival Guide and World War Z. Please welcome Max Brooks. Folks, my next guest tonight is the
you can see over here,
best-selling author
there's one
of The
mistake.
Zombie Survival Guide and World War Z. Please welcome Max Brooks. Folks, my next...
So as a QA, you need to keep note of these kind of mistakes, because you can, feel free to make technical mistakes, like you put the wrong tag, you did not make the segment properly. There's some kind of, but there are some mistakes which you cannot make. Number one is capitalization of the first word. Okay, in English, I think all of you, for you being Filipino, for me being from Pakistan, or people from India, for us, English is pretty much our, it's not our first language, but it's our first and a half language. It's not our second language. You grew up with it. You see it everywhere. You use it for work. So there's no excuse for small English related mistakes like capitalizing the first word, putting a full stop or a question mark or an exclamation mark at the end of the sentence, not capitalizing proper nouns, right? What else? Punctuations, commas where there should be, modal sounds like these kind of sounds. Okay, you cannot make these kind of mistakes. Others, you did not hear the word clearly, or you heard this, heard that. That is fine. That is something we can argue about. But we cannot argue about why the first word was not capitalized. Okay, this is qualified.
Hey Max, hey Max, hey Max, hey Max.
Sounds like all right, but
hey Max, hey Max, hey Max, come on up. There you go. 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 Come on up. There you go.
All right, I don't think he's saying all right. It's like cannot understand clearly. So this should be 0 without text, and we'll add the unintelligible tag. Any word, if you cannot clearly understand it, you can make a guess in some instances, but some places you're like, okay, I have no idea what this person is saying over here. And it happens a lot in overlaps. Okay, because you can see these audios, these are conversations between an interviewer and an interviewee at some show, like a late night show, or where celebrities come and get interviewed. So they sometimes get very excited, speak really fast, they overlap, they interrupt, they say things which don't make sense. So this tag comes very handy over there, but don't overuse it as well.
Come on up. There you go. Come on up. There you go. Come on up. There you go. Now, the New York Times called you the zombie laureate of the United States because zombies have been popular, for a long time. Now, the New York
Now,
Times
this doesn't
called
sound like
you the
AE.
zombie laureate of the United States because zombies have been popular, for a long time. Now, the New York Times called, but you've been writing about them since 1997. But you've been writing about them since 1997. What draws you to the zombie genre? But you've been writing about them since 1997. What?
Okay, Leanne asked a question. Hi, excuse me, I have a question. As you're too polite. How many segments do we need to do per day, or we will have the whole file and we are the one who will cut it per segment? I don't understand your question clearly at the end, but how many segments? You will have a specific target. Target will be defined according to a 4-hour shift. So a target which can be easily done within 4 hours. Normally, it's like one audio, but these audio timings, they can be very different in different situations. So, but you will be given your targets, okay? And so our target will be, it's normally based on the normally target is based on the effective segmentation. Okay, how much effective segment there is, because ineffective segment is basically noise, music, all of that is the ineffective one.
But you've been writing about them since 1997. What draws you to the zombie genre?
Well, I don't think it so much draws me as repels me. It's fear, because I grew up in a pretty nervous household. Well, I don't think it so much draws me as repels me. It's fear, because I grew up.
Okay, now you can see he said it's fear. There should be a comma after that because he made a pause.
In a pretty nervous household.
Right.
Because I grew up in a pretty nervous household. Well, because I grew up.
Okay, now over here I can see another mistake. Then this is something which should not be there, guys, as well, is these extra spaces. Clients hate that. And this is a big problem normally. So no extra mistake spaces.
Right. Your father is the great Mel Brooks, and your mother was the great Anne Bancroft. Right. Your father is the great Mel Brooks, and your mother was the great Anne Bancroft. Right. Your father is the great Mel Brooks, and your mother was the great Anne Bancroft. Right. Your father is the great Mel Brooks, and your mother was the great Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks is the great Mel Brooks. Father is the great Mel Brooks. Father is the great Mel Brooks, and your mother was the great Anne Bancroft. Your father is the great Mel Brooks. Father is the great Mel Brooks, and your father is the great Mel Brooks.
I cannot really hear if it's the or but I think it's fine. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Your father is the great Mel Brooks, and your mother was the great Anne Bancroft. Right. Yes. Right. Your father is the. Yes. Right. Your father's. Right. Your father is the. Right.
Yeah.
You can hear the other person, so you will add this. Okay. So, but over here. Okay. Actually, we're not going to add that because it's not the other person who's making noise in the middle. It's the audience in the back.
And bank. Was the great Anne Bancroft. Right. Your father is the great Mel Brooks, and your mother was the great Anne Bancroft. Right. Your father is the great Mel Brooks, and your mother was the great Anne Bancroft. Right. Your father is the great Mel Brooks, and your mother was the great Anne Bancroft. Right. Your father is the great Mel Brooks, and your mother was the great Anne Bancroft. Right. Your father is the. Yes.
It's the audience in the back, so that's why we're going to mark it as ENS.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Now you can hear the other person in the back of the thank you, so that's why you have the plus sign.
Now, my mother, in addition to being the great Anne Bancroft, because she was Anne Bancroft, she got death threats in the 60s when she kissed Sidney Poitier at the Oscars. Now, my mother, in addition to being the great Anne Bancroft, because she was Anne...
No way. No.
Literally, it was standard practice that whoever is giving away the Oscars, if it's a woman, gives a little man a little peck on the cheek. Literally, it was standard, and that happens. Sidney Poitier walks out, mwah. Next day, a mountain of mail threatening her life. And that happens. Sidney Poitier walks out, mwah. And that happens. Sidney Poitier happens. Sidney Poitier opens. Sidney Poitier walks out. And that happens. Sidney Poitier. That happens. Sidney Poitier walks out. And that happens. Sidney. And that happens. Sidney Poitier walks out.
I can hear happens.
Next day, that happens. Sidney Poitier. That happens. Sidney Poitier.
Yeah, I think it happens. That happens.
Next day, a mountain of mail threatening her.
So this is it happens, and over here should be a comma. All right, but this is again, it's fine. It's this kind of mistake. But
so she was a little jumpy, and she was a little worried I would be kidnapped. Now here's the thing: most of us have moms out there, who are worried we're going to be kidnapped, but not everyone has an Oscar award-winning actress acting out how you would be kidnapped. Now here's the thing:
Do you have favorite scenarios that you remember? 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 Do you have Do you have favorite scenarios? Do you have favorite scenarios? That
no. My mother, she would act it out. It would be the play. The curtain would go up, and she'd say, "All right, you're gonna be at a field trip. They're gonna be out." My mother, she would act it out, and some guy's gonna come up to you and say, "Hey, kid, you want a chocolate bar?" Now, my mother grew up in the 30s, so not only was I gonna be kidnapped, I would be kidnapped by a prohibition gangster, and some guy's gonna come up to you and say, "Hey, kid, and some guy's gonna come up to you and say."
Okay, now over here, some guy's gonna come up to you. So we don't need to put an apostrophe on this guys.
And there's another space before the question mark. Chocolate
and
bar.
actually it should be...
Some guy's gonna come up to you and say, some guy's gonna come...
It's not actually even guys, it's some guy is gonna come up to you. And you said, oh yeah, this horrible extra spaces. The client really hates that. So yeah, so guys, I think we did around 25, 26 segments over here as well. So you can see, but while doing QC, this many mistakes, these are okay, because this is the job of the QC to fix these small mistakes here and there. That is why we have two steps. We have the main work, and then we have the QC. So this many mistakes what we saw right now, this is okay. It's not a big deal. But to be able to get to this point, you can see these are some pretty long segments. So the original text, it would have a lot of mistakes. Everything will be upside down here, there. So it is your responsibility to make sure that they are done properly. The segments are clear, and there are no mistakes, no capitalization mistakes. And the biggest problem which normally the quality team faces is when they get work done by the main worker, where you don't have modal sounds done properly, and where the structure of the sentence is incorrect. Like some people, they're saying, okay, he did this. So now this now the machine transcription, which is already there, it can be not in the proper order. So this is your job as a transcriber to fix that. Guys, this is pretty much it. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask. If not, then we're going to finish this meeting for now. I've given you all the details. I'm going to share this recording as well with you guys, so those who were not in the meeting or joined late, they can watch it again and go through it. And once it's done, then I'm going to have a talk talk with your manager to basically set up a time how to work on this. One very important thing at the end of this meeting, which I want to tell all of you, is that only work on this project if you have at least 4 to 5 hours of time available, ideally 6 hours, but minimum 4 hours. Because if you have less than 4 hours to dedicate to this project, you will not be able to do enough work, and it's very difficult to train and manage such participants as well. And Micah asked a question that what if we don't know the right spelling of name or city that was mentioned? Especially over here, all the names and the cities, they will be popular names, popular cities of America. You can just do a simple Google search. So, for example, this name over here, we had this.
Oh yeah, no. Oh yeah, no.
This one. The name of parents.
Literally, it was standard practice that whoever is giving. No way. Now, my mother.
The great Anne Bancroft, right? Now, I don't know if I search it, Anne Bancroft with even the wrong spelling, it will come up. So, and I will be able to see the spelling. So now I know what is the spelling of Bancroft. And let me check this one as well. Yeah, it's correct. So now, then there are some other simple things as well. What should be capitalized, what should not be capitalized? For that, I would recommend use ChatGPT. Like, for example, maybe the great over here should be capitalized. We don't know. But again, this is very tiny, minuscule things. You will be forgiven for, making this mistake, but you will not be forgiven if you did not capitalize the A in Anne.
Hi, Zane. One more question.
Yes.
Should should contractions like gonna wanna be transcribed as spoken or corrected to formal English? And another question: should numbers be written as words or digits?
Okay, I didn't hear the first part, but numbers, yes, the numbers should be written in as in English script, not as Arabic numerals. So
Not digits, okay.
no.
And should contractions like gonna wanna be transcribed as spoken or corrected to formal English?
No, it will be done as so gonna, wanna, what else?
Uh-huh.
Cause, like when because changes to cause, we will write it CUZ. But because will not be written as BCUZ, it will be complete because.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. And Gislin was asking where you can watch the Zoom recording. I'll upload it to our channel. On YouTube, you'll be able to see it over there. All right, guys, it was a pleasure talking and having you all over here. What I was saying before, and somebody actually asked about that as well, is that 4 hour is flexible or specific schedule. Guys, again, this is a very difficult question to ask me because we're humans, we're all lazy, and especially when it comes to transcription work, it's very easy to get lazy. So normally we recommend a fixed hour where everybody's working. It's also normally done for the training period. So right now, for example, during the training, which we will keep in the evening time, I think when everybody is available. So we will have a fixed time, but once you get trained, you can be flexible. We're not going to sit on your head and control your time. The name of the YouTube channel is Task Tribe, and I'll share the link with your manager. And once Ria confirms all of your availability and everything, then we'll probably have a WhatsApp group as well where you guys can ask further questions. All right, guys, take care. Have a good night, and really looking forward to seeing all of you on our project. All right, Take care. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Thank you,
Thank
Zane.
you.
Thank you.
I'll
Welcome.
send you a message, Zane.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Great.
Thank you.